Hey, how's it going? This is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and today I'll be walking you through your digital marketing attack plan to show you how you can turn your website into a lead generation machine and really generate some extra revenue for your business month over month. Now, if we take a look at the top here, we're looking at roofing in Tampa, which generates about 1,600 searches every single month. Now, that's a lot of searches, but it's even bigger in the grand scheme of things when you start thinking about, roof repair Tampa, roof installation, roofing near me, all these other search terms that go into it. However, for the sake of time in this video, we're just going to be focusing on these 1,600 searches and how we could turn those into revenue for your business. So let's start by looking at your website. So here we are on your website, and I think you have a very visually aesthetic website. However, from an SEO perspective, there's a lot of things that we can improve in order to increase your search appearance. So we're going to be talking about internal SEO first, which is essentially all the different things we can do from within your website to improve that search appearance. Now, normally you're going to hear things like title tags, heading tags, local business schema, and while those are all important, for the sake of time in this video, we're going to focus on the two most important things, which are content and keywords. So let's talk about content first. Content is very important because content gives users something to engage with. So we want a very contentful site because that'll ultimately give users something to engage with and promote a positive user experience. Now, when a user has that positive experience, they tend to come back to your website or to Google for future searches. So it makes sense that Google would promote a website that promotes a positive user experience because it's a win-win scenario for them. Now, normally I like to recommend about 750 to 1,000 words of content on any given page. And obviously, you could tinker around with that and go above that. But normally, that's the golden ratio where you have a lot of content, but doesn't necessarily take away from the visual aesthetic of the website. But that's just something to think about. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, Justin, why don't I just throw up a website with 5,000 words and call it a day? Well, the reason that doesn't work is because we don't want to rank for, landscaping terms and automotive terms. We want to rank for roofing terms. So we have to make sure that our content is relevant. And the way we do that is with keywords. Keywords are the most used words or phrases on a web page, and based on these keywords, we're going to tell Google vital information about our business. So let's take a look at your keywords and see if they give Google information that we need to give them. So here we are in a tool called Keywords Everywhere, and if we scroll down here, you're going to see your most used keywords. We are going to focus in on the first 6 keywords. Obviously, I always recommend further optimizing, but for the sake of time, we're going to focus on the first 6. Now, 1 and 2, I always recommend having very industry-specific keywords. Roofing at number 1 is perfect, and roof at number 2 is also great. Normally, I like to recommend that the second keyword is some sort of modifier. So instead of roof, you could also put, maybe installation to go with roofing or repair. Either of those work, but roof is still a really good industry specific keyword. Now, number 3 and 4, I always recommend putting your location in there. The reason being is that your location allows Google to determine where you do business and really drive that local traffic. So, really important that we harp to Google our location. Number 3 being your city, Tampa, and then number 4 being, your state, so Florida. So, really something to think about. Location is very important though. And then 5 and 6, I always recommend your brand. Obviously, you put it a little bit higher, but 5 and 6, your brand name, because a lot of people think that they automatically rank number 1 for their brand. However, that's not always the case, as other businesses may have similar names. So we want to make sure that customers can find our business at all times. So just to recap here, 1 and 2, industry specific keywords. 3 and 4, location based keywords, and 5 and 6, branding based keywords. So like I said, really easy, really simple, but we want to tell Google everything about our business. Let's take a look at your competitors to see what they're doing as far as content and keywords go. So here we have Tampa Roofing. They rank on the first page for Tampa Roofing. And obviously, it does help that their name is Tampa Roofing, but I wouldn't be too scared about that. A lot of people get worried when they see an exact match. However, it's very easy to outrank an exact match domain if you follow the proper SEO steps. But let's kind of scroll down their website here. They don't have a lot of content. This is really the most content they have is just this one paragraph. But let's kind of take a look if they have any keywords hidden in here between, behind some images or something like that. So let's take a look at their keywords now. So like I said, not a lot of content. You'll see that their website is plugged in here at the top. So we obviously beat them in that aspect. But let's look at their keywords here. So number 1, you see that they have roofing. So that's very much the same as yours. Then number 2, you see that they automatically went to that location-based keyword. And that goes back to me saying, that it really helps to drive local traffic. And you're seeing that because they rank for roofing in that Tampa area. And they really stress that location to Google. So something to think about with your own keywords. Then they went to systems, company, and it starts to fall off a little bit more, but ultimately you see the importance of that location-based keyword. Now, I would recommend using this list for some ideas of your own. Obviously, don't copy this because they are not fully optimized themselves, but it is definitely something to think about. If you take this list along with what I told you, I think you can create a very strong keywords list. But let's go back to your website and talk about external search engine optimization. So now we're talking about external SEO, and unlike internal SEO, external SEO is going to be everything away from your website to increase your search appearance. And in this case, we're talking about backlinking. Now, backlinking, very simple at face value. It's just a link from one website to another, but from an SEO perspective, a lot more is happening. So, when you get a backlink from another website, it's essentially saying that whoever is linking outwards to you says that they trust your information or that they trust your business. And this is very important because it essentially acts as a reference to Google. So, if we can get a quality backlink, it tells Google that we are a quality website, moving us up the rankings. However, you have to be very careful and really focus in on the word quality, because I see it all the time where somebody goes on Fiverr, buys $50 worth of backlinks, gets 10,000 backlinks, and their site immediately plummets, 50 spots. And that's not a mistake because just like a good backlink can tell Google that we are a trustworthy site, a bad or harmful backlink can tell Google that we are a spammy site. So very important to focus on the quality of our backlink structure. Let's take a look at your website currently and its backlink structure using a tool I have called Ahrefs. So right off the bat, I see that you have a 28 UR, a 36 DR, which generates you about 504 users every single month and has a traffic value of about $1,000. Now, let's talk about these metrics a little bit further. What is UR? What is DR? Now, UR stands for URL rating, and what that is the individual power given to a single web page. So in this case, we're talking just about your home page. Whereas DR stands for domain rating, and what that is the power that goes through your entire website. So we're not just talking about the home page anymore. We're talking about all your service pages, all your contractor pages, your financing pages, all those pages put into one is summarized in DR. And now your traffic value is about $1,000 a month. Now, what that traffic value stat is, or I should say how it's calculated, is by looking at where users are coming from and the buyer intent of that keyword. So let me give you a good example. So for instance, let's say somebody looks up roofs, just roofs. That keyword tends to carry a lot less buyer intent than somebody looking for roof installation. And the reason that is because somebody looking for roofs could be looking for a picture of a roof. Maybe they're looking for a roof installation or roof repair, but you don't necessarily know. Whereas roof installation, 9 times out of 10, you know somebody is looking for an immediate service. So that keyword tends to carry a lot more buyer intent. So that's kind of how they come to that based on how many users you have and where they are coming from. So let's keep working down the line here and look at some competitors and see what they're doing as far as external SEO goes. We're looking at Tampa Roofing again with a 28 UR, a 3.1 DR, which generates about 345 organic users every single month, but has a traffic value of almost $5,000. So in this case, you see the power is very similar. Obviously, your DR is much stronger, but their UR is a little bit stronger. And obviously, you want the best of both to create the strongest website possible. But in this case, it could be a targeting issue as well, where they have a better internal SEO layout than you do. So definitely something to think about because you see that reflected in the keywords where they have less users, but those users are driving more value. So let's keep working down the line here. We have Westfall Roofing with a 33 UR, a 23 DR, generates about 5,000 organic users every single month and a traffic value of about $40,000. So clear correlation between a strong internal and external SEO strategy and the amount of traffic that you generate. But let's go back to the Google search engine results page and talk about the Google Map Pack for a second. So we're back to Google and we're talking about the Google Map Pack. Now, the Google Map Pack is right down here. Very important though, because it essentially gives businesses two different places that they can win online. You can win down below in the organic search results, or you can win up here in the Google Map Pack. And if you can do both and get the number one spot in each, you essentially guarantee that 1,600 people see your business first every month before looking at another competitor. So very important. Now, to get into the map pack, you have to first verify your business via postcard with Google, which is 100% free. And to rank in the map pack, you have to adhere to the different factors that they're looking for. So, number one, that you filled out that form to 100%. I say 100% because the more information you give them, the more reputable your business looks. Number two, you have to have a strong organic rank, which is why SEO is so important, because it not only helps down below, but also helps influence up here in the map pack. And then number three, they're looking for citations, which are all the different places your business's name, address, and phone number are listed online. Some popular citations are things like maybe Yelp, the Yellow Pages, the Yellow Books, even Facebook. These are all citations you can give for your business. But let's take a look at how many citations each of these companies has and determine how many you'll need in order to go in and start outranking them. So here we are in a tool I use called Whitespark, and as you'll see, we have Rainer Roof with 35 citations, Quality Roofing Inc. with 11, and Stay Dry Roofing at 47. And now, once again, you may be asking, how does one company outrank another with less citations? And like I said, there's a variety of things that go into that. The profile optimizations, a strong organic rank, reviews, all these things factor in to the GMB profile, but ultimately we want to touch on every single one to make sure that we have the strongest ranking possible. You see it right here. When you skip steps, you end up getting outranked by somebody who doesn't. So we really want to make sure that we handle every single part of this to get the strongest ranking possible. Now, normally I recommend that you double the biggest number in here. So if it's 47, we're going to want 94 citations for your business on top of all the things that we talked about with internal and external SEO. And then you should start to see the strongest results possible. Now, once again, this is all I have for you in this video. My name is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads. I'd love to set up a meeting with you to talk about anything not mentioned in this video, or even just to talk about any questions or concerns you have about this video. But once again, I hope this was very educational, and thanks for watching.